What's up, guys? We are back with some Skyrim. We're going to be talking about the Follower Live package. So I know a few of you have been asking me in the comments, uh, what is this mod? What does it do? How do you use it? Things like that. This mod does a lot. It does a whole bunch. So I'm not going to be able to tell you every single thing that this does, but I'll be able to tell you, most of what it does and what I like about it and what I actually use from this mod, because almost everything with this thing is toggleable. So if you don't like it or you don't understand it, you can simply turn it off. And it also works alongside of popular frameworks like AFT, UFO, and EFF, I think it's called. So it works along those three. Uh, as far as Nether's follower framework, I don't know. This mod is for Legendary Edition, but you might be able to find it for a special edition. I've seen a version called Follow Alive Package retranslated. I don't know if that's like the same thing or not, but I just ported this over to special edition and it works fine. So I basically use Follow Alive Package with the AFT add-on because I also use AFT. All right, so we're pretty much just gonna jump in the game and I'm going to show you the MCM and a little bit of what it does in action. Alright, so here we are in game. Okay. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up
The completionist in me is like, yeah!
my MCM. And we're going to scroll down till we see Follower Live Package right here. And we'll click on this. Okay. So, you have search wait time is the amount of time that followers will wait before they begin a search action. Now, a search action can consist of hunting enemies or looting, right? So, basically, what that means is, and it only occurs when your weapon is sheathed. So, if my weapon is sheathed, if there's enemies nearby, they will go and hunt them. I have it set so only interior. If you want, you could set it to always, or you could set it to only interior. Okay? I don't know why they don't have it to only exterior, or you could just turn it off. Alright? So I only like to have it on interior because I don't like my followers going to run away just because like there's a mud crab nearby or something. But looting, I have that on always, and basically when you have that on, they'll pick up items like gold, scrolls, books, gems like sapphires and rubies, or ingots and things like that. They will not pick up weapons by default. You'll have to, I believe there's a setting in here, or it's probably on the next page, but you can actually set it up so that they pick up weapons. And you could set it so that they pick up armor. I don't like to set it so that they pick up armor because if you do, they will, if the armor is stronger than the one they have, they might wear that instead of the one you want them to wear. Uh, Keep distance. Um, this is basically like when you draw your weapon, your followers will automatically warp to behind you. I don't like this, so I turned this off. If you want that on, you could turn that on. This is the distance. You can set it to medium, close, or far. I just leave it to medium. And the range of looting. You could extend this if you want. I put it on max range. I want them to be able to run so far away from them, if away from me if possible, to loot whatever the heck they want. It makes it way more immersive. Um, Gathering from nature. If you have this on, they will pick up like the flora. Like the mountain flowers and the tundra cotton and stuff like that. They will pick that up. If you have it at high speed, they will like prioritize this. They'll start picking up a whole bunch of flora. I like to have it at normal speed because um, I don't want them just prioritizing that. And range of gathering from nature. This is basically the same thing as looting. How far they'll go to pick up things like tundra cotton and other flora. And then keep distance. Oh, warp to follow is basically like if you're running, you're traveling somewhere, and your followers get too far from you, the like a script will kick in that will automatically warp them to you, similar to how when you draw your weapon. I don't like this. I really don't like when followers teleport to me, like spawn right behind me. So I leave this unchecked. But if you do have it checked, you can adjust the distance to warp. Um, Distance to warp if I have a fighting pose. I guess that basically means if you have your weapon drawn. Warp position height, how high they'll warp when they're next to you, and how far behind they'll be from you when they warp behind you. Emergency warp, regardless of the setting, warp to the players of the follower when the player draws weapon. All right, so yeah, basically that, more warping stuff. Now you have ready for camp. This I do not understand exactly how it is. Like if you like crouch and talk to a follower, I think a dialogue pops up where you can spawn a camp, but it puts like a bundle of camp equipment that's like really like I don't understand how to set it up. And I recommend just using the mod called Campfire. It's much better. So this is ready for Camp Nord. I think only if you talk to a Nord, I think you could spawn this camp dialogue. I usually actually have this on disable, so I'll put that to disable. And yeah, this is like all the different things you can put down. I recommend do not use this. It's very buggy. Now for waiting, you can have them auto relax if you sit still. Sleeping hours, I basically have this at 0 so that they never sleep. But if you could adjust this for how long you want them to sleep, and then right here is the time that they will choose to go to sleep. So like if I had this enabled, and then right here I could choose like their bedtime. I think if it's at 0, it means midnight. So yeah, basically they will pull out a sleeping bag and sleep at it if you're in a safe environment, like if you're in a home or if you're in a tavern. They'll pull out a sleeping bag and they'll sleep at it. This is also kind of buggy because like they'll lay in the sleeping bag for like a few seconds and then they'll just get out and start wandering around again. So I ultimately just kind of like turned that off. And remote talking by sprinting, I'll actually show you this right now. I'll turn this on. This kind of gonna give you like a Fallout kind of feeling. So like if I have somebody over my cursor and I sprint towards them.
Ride up and take me away. Someday.
Ah, excuse me.
See, it's kind of difficult because I got an analog.
Hey, watch it.
Or maybe I have to have my weapon sheath.
I'm still here. Terribly sorry. Sorry.
This does
I'll
work. Sorry, Lucian. I don't know why it's
I'm
not
still
working
here.
now, but basically, you can talk to a follower from like long distance if you sprint towards them while they're in your cursor. It's not working for me right now, but it has worked for me in the past. So anyway, let's jump back to this really quickly. It's a lot to go over with, so I'm trying to speed through this. All right, so if they pick up skill books, from the looting, they will, occasionally read it. At meal times, they will eat meals if they have like food in their inventory, and act separately and house and inn. I love this feature. This basically means if you step into a city, like even if it's outside, like an outside city like Falkreath or Morthal, your followers will actually like leave your side. They won't be like all up on you, and they'll actually walk around and just hang out in the city. Like mind their own business, do their own personal chores and things like that. They'll also do it in the tavern as well. So, act nearby separately. The percentage, I think I usually leave this on at 10. I'm assuming like if you increase it, they'll act separately from either even further distances, or if not, it's the opposite. The less you have, the further they'll act. Mess around with this. Cure disease. Cure disease of player after combat. Ask healer by conversation or MCM. So you can actually go up to if you have this checked, you can go up to your followers and ask them to cure you of disease. This is actually, you know, very kind of like a cheat, so I choose not to have that on. And this, they will actually sing like songs like Ragnar the Red, the Dragonborn Comes, things like that, as long as they have the voice type to match it. And then right here, you could choose the probability, like the chance that they'll do that. It gets kind of annoying after a while, so I left it really low, like 0.2. They will also sometimes pull out an instrument, like a lute or a drum or a flute, and play that. And you can choose the duration that they will play this instrument and the volume and things like that. And summon passive riding and summon riding. Basically, what this is if you mount a horse, okay, they will spawn horses in to ride or whatever. But I don't use this because I use convenient horses, and that's just much better and much more focused on horses. So I just choose to have this disabled. But you can do some cool things like this, like you can give your followers individual riding mounts, and some of them are like very unique. Like you could have one of your followers ride on a Frost Atronach and stuff like that. Although I think those can be really buggy and cause a crash. So I just choose not to mess around with it. And wandering. On the day of the week other than valid, wandering followers will be released. So I guess like sometimes they could wander away from you. I've actually had this happen to me, and I thought it was a bug, but it's probably because of this. So this mod is really immersive. Like sometimes your followers is like, yo, I need some time alone, and they will actually just leave your side, right? They'll still be in the party, so like if you choose summon all, they'll still spawn next to you. But like if you're not in combat, they'll like walk away from you, leave the dungeon, and go off and do their own thing. So I guess it's kind of like an immersive thing. And after a few days or hours, they will actually rejoin the party and fight at your side again. So I think that's really immersive. If you don't want that to happen, I would assume you have to uncheck all of these. Okay? So we're going to go to AI 2 really quickly. This crafting with furniture, only teammate. When follower use furniture or have the necessary material to craft, they can craft an item. Healing, cure disease potion, stuff like that. All right, that's really cool. So like your teammates, if they have the materials in their inventory from like when they're picking up like alchemy ingredients off the floor, you know, because they can loot. If there's an alchemy table nearby, like let's say you go into a tavern and your followers act separately in an inn, and one of your followers walk over to the alchemy table, they can actually mix potions together, and those potions will be in their inventory. So sometimes you might be able to go up to a follower and check and see in their inventory if they have a potion of cure disease in case you have a disease, and they might have it for you, you know, so that's really nice. Consume soul gem auto charge. If they're using an enchanted item or a staff and the energy for it runs out, they will recharge their weapon if they have a soul gem in their inventory. They could also charge it for you, but I choose not to have this. I'd rather them keep their soul gems for themselves. Alright, so amount of salary per level. I guess this is like you have to pay your followers sometimes. I've never had it happen to me though. Every how many days do player pay salary? There needs to be indicated by the behavior of the individual to come to receive the salary. Honestly, I do not know what that is. Like I said, I don't know everything this mod does, but this might be that every few days you might lose some of your money to pay your followers. That's what I'm assuming. So, brightness to use candlelight. If you're in a dark area like a cave or something and it's very dark, your followers will actually cast mage light to light up the area. I do not like this. I turn it to 0, which means they won't cast it, because I remember using this in LE, and I remember a follower went to go cast mage light because it was too dark, and my game crashed, and it kind of just scarred me, and I just never wanted to activate it after that. Alright, so worship at a shrine. Faith is increased or decreased by worship and faith if faith is more than 5. I do not know exactly what this does, but I do know that if there are shrines nearby, your followers will run up to those shrines and pray at them. So that's also really immersive. And they will also go to the vendors, like the barmaids in taverns, or like the guy who sells his sister in Whiterun. I can't remember. Just using some examples, like the vendors, they'll go up to them and they'll actually buy items for them if they have gold in their inventory, and they will sell some of these items too if you put it right here. So I think by default they'll sell like up to 5 ores, 5 of these vegetables. If you don't want them to sell these, just put it at 0 or non-selling stock quantity. I guess this basically means if they have more than 5 corundum ores, they will. There's a chance they will sell it, but they will always keep 5 in their inventory, so you don't have to worry about them selling too much. Combat AI, assist AI percentage, probability that the follow alive package combat AI to search for fellow. If this is zeros, follow do not mind a fellow. Exclude player. Yeah, some of these things need to be translated, but basically, I guess 20% chance that the follow alive packages AI will kick in to try to assist the player. Health percentage to flee. This is basically like if their health is at 20%, the follower will flee. I believe if you have like AFT, this will override it though, because my followers never flee. Use shout. Individual. This basically means you can give your followers shouts if you set them up individually. So right here we have an individual setting, which we'll get to in a few. So probability to use illusion. I think I usually turn this off. Pacify, mayhem, fear. Okay, so that's that. They will use these if given to them by the follower alive package. So you can actually give your followers spells from the individual setting. Like I said earlier, we'll get to that in a bit. So we have non-scripted mounted combat. Your followers will actually fight on horseback, I believe, as long as you remain on your horse. I'm not exactly sure if this works or not because I have convenient horses, and it does so in that mod. All right. So, Wereby Special Combat, Vampire Lord Special Combat, cannot confirm whether these work or not. I don't have followers that have transformations. This is the health percentage to start healing the player. When your health drops to 50%, they will start healing you. And same thing for your followers. If you individually set a follower as a healer, they will actually heal you, and it will heal your followers as well. Even if the follower doesn't have healing spells or doesn't have a healing script like from the creation kit, they will just become a healer through this mod. So that's really good. Quantity to stop crafting. So if they're crafting leather, once they have 10 leather in their inventory, they'll stop crafting it. This is really nice. Like I said, they'll wander off on their own and they'll do their own thing. Like they'll craft that tanning racks and make leather strips and stuff like that. So every once in a while you want to go to your follower, check in their inventory, and they'll have some useful items for you, like in case you run low on stuff. All right. So remaining percentage to recharge a weapon. This is how much percentage they'll have before they'll use these items to recharge their enchanted weapons and or staffs. Training settings for follower. You can actually make your followers trainers. These are features that I don't really use because I know how to do this in a creation kit. So it's like I'd rather just do it there than to do it here. But anyway, system. This is actually kind of small. So basically, what you can do here is you can load and save your settings, which is really good. You don't have to worry about setting this up every time. Set it to your liking, save it, and then when you start a new playthrough, just hit load. All right. So whereabouts to follow. Detect all follower that was talking to you with you once. I have no idea what this is. Ignore attack from fellow. Basically, if you hit your followers, if you shoot them by accident with an arrow, they won't get upset and they won't attack you. Because sometimes you have followers that don't have the right relationship record. Like they have like a normal relationship towards the player, So basically, they might follow you, but if you accidentally hit them with friendly fire, they might actually leave your party and start to attack you. All right, so have this checked to avoid that happening. Wait time for resurrection follower. I guess this basically follower revives if receive enough healing within a set time. Otherwise, they'll die. I guess you don't really have to worry about this because a lot of these follower packages makes those followers essential. So I don't really mess around with this. Headgear in bad weather. Uh, I checked this to don't equip headgear in bad weather. At the clothing setting, there's a clothing setting in here which I don't mess with. But if you have this unchecked, your characters will put like hoods on or hats on if it's snowing or raining. I have wet and cold, so once again, it does kind of the same thing and then much better. So I don't really mess around with this. So dismount assist for the other mods horse function if convenient horses recommended warp if the follower change clothes during mount they can't dismount sometimes. If the player dismount they take a dismount motion in Solio guide to warp to the have no idea what this does, so I set it to disable. Shared players horses. Basically, if you have more than one horse that you own, whenever you mount a horse, your other horses will be warped to you, so that the party members can mount them. Okay, I check that off because it basically just pulls all of my horses out of my stables and then they'll just be out in the wild, and I don't want that. Give out enemy throwing poison, throwing dagger, throwing trap. Through trap can be picked if you're sneaking. I have no idea what this is, and as you can see, English isn't the author's first language here. So recruit human by dialogue. Displays dialogue to recruit humanoid as FLP framework. So pretty much you can recruit NPCs through using the follower live package. There will be a new dialogue that will be displayed when you talk to these NPCs. I have this unchecked because I just use AFT and recruit my followers that way. You can use follower live package without AFT or UFO or EFF. You could use it on its own to get followers and multiple followers. All right. So if you're gonna do it that way, just check this. Recruit non-human by dialogue. So you could probably recruit things like a dog, for example, because you can have dog followers and they're obviously not human. So recruit ally automatically. When player draws weapon near ally or NPC and potential follower faction, join as follower live package framework automatically. Alright, so like if you're standing next to, like, let's say Lydia and you're already the Thane, and you draw your weapon while you're next to her and she's not in your party, she will automatically join your party. Alright? So same conversation with MCM. Not exactly sure what that does. Ride dialogue, display dialogue for ride non-human type follower. I think this basically means you could talk to them while you're on horseback. Change dialogue without consume. Charge dialogue, I have no idea. Train dialogue, this basically means you could, if you have followers set as trainers, you can use the trainer dialogue. Shop dialogue, you could set them as vendors as well, and they will have like they will have a shop inventory from like the general vendors inventory. So it's like some random stuff. I don't know who exactly they share with it, but they will have like some random items to sell you. Adjust dialogue, display of conversation choice to the adjustment of the physical attack defense of followers. I have no idea. My home is your home dialogue. If you use my home is your home and you have issues, you might want to check this. I don't check this, and I do have my home is your home, and it just works fine without this. So I never check this. And teammate attribute, waiting, release, wandering, squad member. When followers of teammate attribute enters the house that is locked, it will be crime handling of the player. If canceled, teammate attribute follower does not matter even if doing. So if I'm trespassing into a house, my followers will wait. I assume they probably won't even come inside the house with me. And if they do, they will just wait. If I have this checked, when I'm trespassing, they will release. When followers of a teammate attribute enters a house that is locked, it will be a crime handling of the player. If canceled, teammate attribute follower does not matter, even if doing. So I think what this means is that if you break into a house and like your follower doesn't like that, they might leave your party and probably like report you or may even attack you. Wanadering, which they meant is a typo. It means wandering. So basically, if you're trespassing, your followers will wander. Basically, like if you're in a city and you trespass into a house, they might just stay out in the city and wander about and mind their business while you're out, while you're inside of the house, like committing crimes or something. So, squad member, when a teammate attribute enters the house that is locked, it will be a crime handling of the player. If canceled, teammate attribute follower, I do not know exactly what that means. All right, and auto manage shared inventory. There's a shared inventory amongst your followers, and basically, these are all the items that can be placed in that shared inventory. If you want something to not be put in that shared inventory, just uncheck this. Okay? So, wow, that's actually a lot. I'm going to stop right here, and we're going to do a part 2, because I know I'm going to run out of disk space soon, and this video is already long enough. Alright, so I'm going to see you guys with the next part, where we would discuss the individual settings and the player settings and the weekly schedule, as well as the formation, right? Because the formation is pretty cool. You can set it up so like your followers will actually travel in front of you, so you can kind of like roleplay as the follower while they're the leader. And then I'll actually show some of this mod off in action, because I really like the way it comes to life when you're inside of the dungeons. All right, so I will see you guys next time.